First question is what are the apps or tools that you go to repurpose content?
The key to social media, guys, we are living in the greatest era to be alive. The greatest era. I'm actually even just recording this on my camera because there's always content and more content. So we're living in the greatest era to be alive where we have this and all the attention is on our phones right now. People want to connect now more than ever. It's the most important time, guys, and people are not realizing it and they're not taking advantage of this, right? We live in a day and age where no matter who you are, a lot of our clients or the people that are tuned into us are CEOs, entrepreneurs, but this goes for creators. This goes for the everyday mother out there. This goes for the father, for anyone out there who has a dream and has a vision to continue spreading your message out to more people. There's never been a greater time to be alive. So that's why I wanted to use this webinar to have practical tips that you guys can use, that you guys can learn. Maybe you're on a marketing team and you're doing marketing for a company. Well, you can use this to grow. You can use this to grow your legacy because everyone here has an imagination. You have things that you're passionate about, you have things that you're interested in, and you have a voice. Now more than ever, people want to listen to you, and I want you to know the power in that. So I actually wanted to start this. I got a lot of points. I really like Gary Vee. For those of you guys who don't know, Gary Vee is a huge entrepreneur, really around social media and marketing, because marketing is life. We all market, whether we know it or not. You're either most of your time a consumer or you're a creator. So how can you market what you do out to more people, right? That's the most important thing. You want to keep spreading your legacy because that's what this is about. I always say the best currency is legacy. It's bigger than currency. So I want to play this real quick just for you guys to see.
Humans should be interacting with each other, you will lose. The number one asset in the world is other people's attention. Their attention is in play. It lives here. Here are 7 or 8 platforms named YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. Got it? You need to figure out how to be in there.
That's the punchline. You need to figure out how to be here. And that's why this is so powerful. So a little bit about myself. I just started off doing YouTube. So I've played football my whole life. I just started documenting my life. I got to a point I was overseas. I had a small iPhone and I just turned the camera on my life. And that just developed and it developed. And I never went to marketing degree. I never went to university to get a degree, nothing. I was just documenting my life. I was a practitioner. I was living it. And so what I was doing was I was putting my vlogs on YouTube. And then I was like, okay, I need people to see the YouTube videos. So then I would send them, I would make reels on from the long videos, and then I'd put them up on all the short form platforms, the other platforms, 7 to 8 platforms, Instagram, TikTok, all these different platforms. Actually, this was just before TikTok came. I think TikTok really, really changed the world. Um, it changed the world massively in terms of how things were distributed. So I just started documenting. And then one day, my dad came to me and said, son, why don't we start a podcast? So we started the podcast, just having conversations as a father and a son. How can I learn? I've seen you as my dad my whole life, but I never knew you were an actual person. You went through things, you went through experiences. I had my mum on the show and she talked about her journey and moving to Australia and all these things. And I was like, wow, this is so powerful because we're forming a media company, right? We're garnering attention. And if we could do this, so many other people can do this. Businesses out there can do this, can utilize something like podcasting, which is so natural, it's so authentic in a conversation. And that is all your marketing material that you need. So from there, we're able to blow up our channel, which we're still growing, still uploading. And even for me personally, I was able to blow my personal brand. On my channel had over 14 million views. This is my channel views at till this date. The population of Australia is what, 20 million? And so think about that. Think about that. If you have that attention over time, showing what you care about, showing your business, showing your legacy. Again, I always thought about it when I was doing it. What about if my children can see this? Instead of me telling them about my life, they can go in and watch it. How much would it be for you to imagine you could see your grandparents, maybe your grandparents had a business and what they did. Imagine if you could watch that. That'd be priceless, right? So that's why this is so important. And the best thing about that is you'll monetize it. you'll be able to build a business. You have leads, you're generating an audience. And so that's what this is really, really, really about. How can you build a legacy? This is about legacy. It's not about money. Like it goes deeper than that. Yes, you can build your business. Yes, you will make money, but the way money comes is because you're building a legacy and you're adding value to people. The more people you serve, the more money you attain. And so a great way to serve at scale is by putting out content. It's just by educating people. Educate people in your niche, in what you do. Garner that audience. So you're providing value for them for free, which they can watch on social media. But at the same time, you're going to build up that trust. And what are they going to do? They're going to fall in love with you and they're going to buy your product. They're going to buy your service because of you. And that's why all businesses, all entrepreneurs can utilize this to your greatest advantage ever. So again, I didn't want to go too long and I want to open this up for questions. I want people to ask as many questions as possible because this is for you. So I don't want to go talking as much. I just wanted to show you the certain strategies and what's at play here for you to now grow. So you can see the common challenges a lot of entrepreneurs face is, the lack of consistency. You just don't know, where do I even start? Where do I even go? Well, I'm not good at social media. And so that's why it's quite hard. We've seen so much in the marketplace with so many CEOs, they struggle with this because where do I even start? But the problem with that is you're lagging behind, so you lack that visibility. Why this is so important, the personal branding is so important is because when you go networking, when you're in the rooms with people, what are they going to do? They're going to Google you. They're going to Google who you are and what you do, what you're about. And that's the most important thing because when they come in on your website, then they're going to check your social media profiles. That is what's really important. If they can come in and see you, then they see you on YouTube. They see so much content. You have a catalog that's going to build up the trust and it's going to make you what? It's going to make you credible. So every day you're not doing this, you're leaving a lot of money and opportunities on the table. You're going to be passed by because you just don't have enough content. So that's why how we blew up this business is because this was a need in the marketplace that we don't know where to start or how to do this. But even if I could just give that seed in your mind to know, hey, how can I just start to get myself out there? And that's why I'll talk about the process of how we do this to go on and help you. So just a little bit of way things have shifted a little bit here is the algorithms were once based on the social graph. So what that means is just, your family, your friends, whoever's following you, right? That's what it was really based upon. But now it's based upon your interest. Think about it. Have you guys ever maybe you've been thinking about buying something, you're thinking about buying a fridge, or you've been thinking about a product or service. What's going to happen sooner or later is those interests that you're interested in, they're going to pop up on your feed. Maybe when you're on LinkedIn, maybe when you're on these other platforms, what you're thinking about is going to pop up. And that's what's so powerful because your solution, all of you guys who have businesses or you're marketing for a business, people need those solutions. So you just need to make yourself more visible for people who are already looking for you. There's so many people who are already looking for what you do and the solutions that you provide. They just need to find you. And the way to make them find you more is just by putting yourself out there, garnering that community. And that's why, again, I talk about things like YouTube. The podcast angle is so powerful because YouTube, people search for things on Google, but what comes up when they search for it is YouTube because Google owns YouTube. So your first post or your second, third post, what we see with our clients, when we keep putting the content, more people keep finding them because people are searching for those things. People are searching every day. So if you have any questions, please let me know. So I got this again from Gary Vee, and this is what we use. This is the pillar of what we use. So we document. This is one of the most important things. How can we get you to get content in a way where you're not going out of your sphere, out of your zone of genius? So a lot of you guys are too busy to create content. I get it. We're running businesses. We don't have time for this. But what am I doing right now? I'm recording this on my camera. Okay, cool. I'm in business. I'm in operations. But now this getting recorded, this being up on YouTube, that's my marketing. And I'm not going out of my way. I'm not doing anything too crazy. Yes, we may have a team to edit certain things, but this is the content that we need. So it's about what we do with our CEOs is let's just document. Okay, cool. You have a meeting. Okay, what's one of the best ways to keep growing your business? I always say to people, your best clients are the people who you're already serving, who already know, like, and trust you. Okay, cool. Why don't you get one of your clients on your podcast and you guys can have a conversation on how you've solved their problems? You're getting to know them. You're building, you're nurturing the lifetime value of a customer because like, wow, they've asked me to come on their podcast, and that gives you the content. So that's the first pillar, is to document the content. Once it's documented, now you can create the short form pieces of content from that. You do a podcast that's 45 minutes. What happens? I'll give you a small example. Let me do this quickly. So again, we go on YouTube. I'll go on one of my clients' accounts that we do. So what am I talking about? This is the art of documenting. So for example, he's a CEO, and his goal is I want my businesses and my companies to run themselves. They're running themselves now. I want to go into the mentorship space. I want to go in and start mentoring entrepreneurs, mentoring CEOs. I can hire a CEO in my business. The company is already running itself, but because I'm building a brand, because I've built a brand, I can now create an ecosystem of product services. I have my mentorship and everything still funneling back to the business. So small example here, we're in his office. He's always working, but okay, we'll just come in, set up an interview in your office, boom, we go. So this is what you call documenting. And so we have so much content of documenting the process. You're doing a workshop. We're doing speaking engagements. We're here on the street talking about, okay, how can someone scale their business? This is what it is. And now all the people who are looking for these solutions, how to build wealth, how to look for wealth, how can I, we're going networking. Okay, if he's going for a networking event, okay, how can we just come in and document it? How can we come in and document and show what it's like to be you, show what it's like to be a CEO? This is the game, and we have this for so many of our clients. Here, we saw Mark Boris at an event. What happened? We went and got the camera, and because we're recording, we're documenting everything. And now, what does this do now? It positions him as an authority expert. Your position. So that's why this is so powerful. How can we just get you to document what you're already doing like this? Again, for a lot of you guys, a podcast is the most natural and authentic way because it's authentic. You're talking about your story. You're talking about how you solve problems in the marketplace. And that's why this is so valuable more than ever. And I can go into the analytics and things like that. So that's really the content. We want to document this and then repurpose this into micro content. So you can see here, for example, with Gary Vee here, you have a vlog that gets put up on places like YouTube. And then now you can look, this video is 2 hours, and now you can get content from here without doing so much extra work. And now you can repurpose this content into all these different platforms. What I always say is you want to always start with where's your audience. So that's why we always break down who is your customer. Become obsessed with who is your customer. What do they do? Where do they live? What is the income of where they are? And then now we go, where do they hang out the most? A lot of B2B space, where I'm in the B2B space, I post on LinkedIn as 10 times a day, 4 times, as much as I can, because I know that's where my audience lives. And like we said at the beginning, you want to show up where your audience is so they can see you, because it takes time for someone to trust you. They say it takes over 7 hours for someone to trust you. So how can we just keep showing up so you become what? You become front of mind. Yes, I've been going through this issue. I keep seeing these people. I like their content. I relate with them. And I want to now. That's how you start to convert. So the way this works is the pillar content is like we do. We do a podcast conversation talking about how you're solving problems in the marketplace. You're talking with your clients, your current customers, where you met them before they met you. Where are they now? What was the story? Storytelling is always the number one asset that we use for social media because people always connect with stories. So now when people can go in and spend 30 minutes with you, 40 minutes with you, then we can now break up that content, and now it goes into the micro content. You can put it on all these platforms, and then you can even have articles, right? So that's why this is so valuable, that you don't have an option. You really don't have an option. This is where all the attention is. All your customers are on the other side of here. So how can we just reach out to them more? And now when you have the content, a lot of you guys have newsletters. Well, now you can use that newsletter. Hey, I did an interview with a client and it was so passionate. We talked about how we solve their problems. So click the link below and you'll be able to go in. Boom, they go to your YouTube channel. So you're going to nurture all your leads, get them into your newsletter. And so it's just going to it's an ecosystem to build. Again, I always say, this is not about money. This is about legacy. I want you, when your kids, I want your children to be going and to be inspired by you, that they can see you, because now TV is here. TV is on the phone. So it's about how can you inspire the people you're serving? How can you inspire your family? How can you create a legacy? Because your content will live on forever. When you're no longer here, your content will still be playing. Your content will still be out there. Leads will still be coming in as long as you've set up the right systems and processes around your business. This is what we call generational wealth. This is what we call building something that can scale, that you can go in and sell your business and you can continue living in your purpose. So before we go into questions, again, once all that content is done, this is how you distribute it. This one piece of content, this one piece of interview, this webinar that I'm doing right now, it can be repurposed every single where. So because my goal is I need to be everywhere. Everywhere you see somewhere, I need to be there. And most of the times, everyone's on their phone. I need to be up on YouTube. I need to be up on Spotify. I need to be up on LinkedIn. I need to be up everywhere. So when people are searching for my solution, I come up. Again, I always do the test. When this became so powerful for me was I Googled my name. And when I Googled my name, I was like, oh, all those times I was doing this, when I was making no money, when I was just documenting and getting 0 views, 2 views, what was it doing? It was building my SEO. It was building the first page of Google. So when I go to a networking event now, I go to meetings now, and the meetings, they already trust me. They already know me. Why? Because I have so much content in the marketplace. And this comes so powerful is to build a big business, you need to recruit the best people, right? You need a team. And when you build a brand, that is the most powerful thing, because now you open yourself up to recruit the best people, because now people, when they're coming in the door to work for you, they already know who you are. They already know your values, because your values are out there in your content, because you're going to show your values. Again, your the culture of your business. These people like Gary Vee, Elon Musk, they can recruit the best people. Why? Because they've got a brand out there. They've got a personal brand. And that's why this is so crucial. I didn't want to go too long. I wanted to open up this for questions. People probably on their lunch break. So I wanted to just put it in short-sized information that you can get motivation from here, plant the seeds to say, you know what? How can I start to document? How can I get on podcasts? How can I potentially build my own podcast? That's something that we do, but how can you use this to now give to your marketing team to plant that seed to build a legacy? So I did want to open up for questions. Does anyone have any questions that you want to ask that's specific to you? I want it to be selfish as you can in your situation, that you can at least plant the seed for your audience to grow your business. Because at the end of the day, it is so important. And I want to play that video just one more time, because you need to hear it again.
If you do not put you will lose. The number one asset in the world is other people's attention. Their attention is in play. It lives here. Here are 7 or 8 platforms named YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. Got it? You need to figure out how to be in there.
That's it. That's the punchline. How can you figure out to be there? The game has changed. This is the best era to be a business owner. It's not about geography anymore. You can reach people anywhere. You can grow at scale. It's the best time. It's the best opportunity. Don't listen to what people on the news are saying, or this and this. No, you can build your own news channel. You can build your own distribution. It is for free. It is for free, and people are not taking advantage of this. You have the power to create the life and the business of your dreams, because now more people can see exactly what it is you do. And that's why it comes back to the documenting. I document every single day, show in behind the scenes. What is it like being an entrepreneur? What is it like leading a business? What is it like leading a team? Recording team meetings, recording all these things. We had a company retreat. We went in and recorded the whole process of them building a strategy. I was in that room and I was like, this is what people don't see. This is what people don't see. And this is the value. This is authentic content. And that is what's going to help change your life. That is what's going to help you build a legacy. So does anyone have any questions that you want to ask at all? You know, again, be really selfish.
Hey, mate, I've got a couple of questions. Thanks, that was good. And sorry I missed the first couple of minutes, but I appreciate you showing the video again. First question is, what are the apps or tools that you go to repurpose content?
That's a great question. I can actually show you. There's one app we use AI because a lot of, you put in a podcast and then it gives you clips. What we'll do is now, once this AI program gives us the clips, we'll also edit them because, AI can just kind of give you a natural one. But so for example, here, one of our clients here, this is a podcast, 1 hour. So look at this. Okay, this is a 6-minute video, but now it gives you timestamps. It gives you now content to repurpose, and it gives you the different platforms, right? So see here.
But here's the good news.
And it will break up the content itself. So we'll break it up into a clip. What we'll do now is we'll kind of see what it gives us, see if it's good enough, especially because we know, okay, I know who my audience is. I know what they're looking for. So how can we make this 40 seconds so valuable for that person who has this problem? And then now we can repurpose this. So we may edit this a little bit, making sure like it's good, because AI can sometimes, we don't want to just put it out there. Everything has to be quality, but this is a great tool. It's called Video.ai. I think another company bought it. I know there's other places, Opus Clips, but this is, to start off with, I would say, this is a powerful one. If you're doing an interview, or if maybe you record a 10-minute video of you just talking about what it is you do, and then now you can use this to repurpose that content. And that's a simple way. So what is it that you do, just for the other people out there? This will also be up on YouTube, great marketing as well. So what is it that you do?
So I'm setting up a B2B market, B2B company advising. It's quite a niche sort of advising non-profit organizations through mergers.
Okay.
So LinkedIn is going to be by far the most important channel for me.
Yeah. So that's where you'd want to, So LinkedIn, is the most powerful. So powerful. So you want to show up and say, how can I be on LinkedIn as much as I can? So I'll give you, okay, so this is one of our clients. Okay, so where he's in the wealth space, right? Okay, so what do we do? Well, we're going to show up there 24 times a day. We're going to show up there as much as we can. Long form content works really well for LinkedIn. You can see the impressions there. Why? Because what we know is LinkedIn, when you give LinkedIn a 6-minute video, LinkedIn says, thank you so much. Why? Because that's how these platforms make money. The longer content you give them, they run ads for people. So they show this out to more people. And then now this finds the audience that we're looking for, because like I said in the webinar, like if we go back here, it's about interest now. So for example, your customer, like you're helping nonprofits with mergers. Well, they're looking for that information. And let's say they're on LinkedIn, this is where it comes in. This is what they're going to see. They're going to see what it is, because that's what they're looking for. So then it's like, how can we show up here with different types of long form content, short form content? We just need to show up as much as we can, because money, he's in the wealth space. Money is an emotional topic. So what do you need to do? You need to build their trust. You see this piece of content? We just documented him doing a speech. Okay, how can we use that for marketing?
Okay. If I could, I have one more question, please.
Yeah, go as many as
So some of the content you showed there was your client interacting with other people, or demonstrating the work and outcomes, work you've done with them, or outcomes achieved with them. Do your clients ever experience pushback from the people they work with, that they're uncomfortable, or there needs to be a process in order to be sharing content that features them or their work?
People that they work with. So you mean people within their team, or just when they?
No, so and sorry if I missed one at the start of the preso, but you showed a little clip of your client with Mark Boris, for example, and you've talked about filming him a day in the office and having client conversations on the phone, etc. What's your experience of gaining permission, or is it better to seek forgiveness rather than permission when you're profiling third parties?
That's a great question. So there is a process. So for example, let's say something like when we do the podcast, we send out a media release form, saying, hey, you're going to be on the show, this and this. And they accept it because they want to come in and be on your platform. So that's one part of it. When it comes to, let's say, a client conversation, again, I'll come in, record my client talking on the phone. We don't necessarily even have to put what the other person said because of confidentiality things. We can just keep what he's saying and the value that he's providing, because in a meeting, you're always providing value anyway. So we can just use those short form clippets there, or we just ask the person, hey, I'm just recording this for my personal branding, my marketing. Is that okay? So you have those two things. Mark Boris, when we saw him, we came with the camera and said, hey, can we, do a small interview? Well, Mark Boris is a shark. He's been doing this since day one. So of course he was like, you're talking, he does it himself. So that's why it's so powerful, because when you do it, people want to be around you. No one's going to say no. Usually in a situation like that, people are not going to say no. And that's why, again, you look at, like, for example, with the nonprofit and the B2B space, what we do is what works amazingly well. Don't even go and try and approach someone's business. Let's say you have a solution that you can provide them. You say, hey, I'd love to have you on my podcast to talk about the situations and what are they going to say? They're going to say yes. And when they say yes, they spend that time with you. You're helping them market. Then they say, you know what? After that podcast conversation, I really like that. Then they want to go and do business with you. Even if they don't do business with you, you're showing yourself in that authority space, and that content you can leverage to get other people who have that same problem and garner that. So it's a win-win situation. But a great way, I think, even in your space, is like, yeah, I'd love to have you on my podcast. And
so we don't all run podcasts, I'm sure, but the nearest equivalent would be to record each client or section of clients at the end of the job about their experience, and then repurpose that video content as opposed to repurposing.
Correct. So would you be saying, like, in an interview per se, or?
Yeah, I could. I've just written a note here to on the completion of each project, you interview the client about how well it went, and that produces great video content then to repurpose and use.
And I tell my clients that all the time. Why that is so powerful is because it's so powerful because that is a testimonial. Instead of getting a client, oh, can you send me a testimonial? Can you write a testimonial? Yeah. No. You're having a conversation with where they were before the project, how it was after it. They're opening up, and that builds, like I always say, build relationships with your clients. And that is something that is so powerful, because also they're grateful. Not only did you solve a problem for them, but then now, they're on podcasts, they're on social media, and they can tell their story and talk about how you solve their problems. And now that is fantastic. Now that, when you're reaching out to other people, say, hey, by the way, this was someone in a similar situation here. Here's an interview I did with them. Have a look. And they can go in and watch a whole 30, 40-minute testimonial. It's literally a testimonial. And they can see, yep, this is what I need. And potentially, maybe I could even, be featured on their show. They're going to want to work with you.
Cool. Great. Thank you.
No worries at all. Great questions. Anyone else? Any other questions? Feel free to ask. But okay, anyone else, if you want to connect with me, I'm on LinkedIn. So you can just connect with me on LinkedIn. And I think, again, I always talk about LinkedIn. I saw, again, back to going to Gary V, he said something. He said, I was posting content on all these other platforms and my audience is not really on there. So it was getting great views, but like the people I serve, that if because let's say only really 1% of your audience you will be able to convert. Most people will just come in, they can watch it, they can be inspired, they can get value from it, but only 1% really will convert. But that 1% will those profit margins are quite high, right? So I saw a video, Gary Vee said, post on LinkedIn straight for 9 months straight and it will change your life. He said that. And we already had all the content, so it was just about repurposing it. But post on LinkedIn for 9 months straight and it will change your life. And my goodness, was he right? Yes, it took patience. Yes, it took consistency, which is the biggest word when it comes to all of this. You already know that in your business, consistency. But when I did that, it changed my life. Why? Because not many people are doing it. Not many people are posting on LinkedIn, right? Especially good content. So if you just post, they say 1% of people post on LinkedIn. So now if you just post on LinkedIn, I promise you it's going to change your life, especially if that's where your audience is, of course. So yeah, really powerful. So you can connect with me on LinkedIn. Yeah. If anyone has no other questions, I'll let everyone get back to work, and how can we build our empires and our legacies. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll talk soon.
Thanks.
If you really enjoyed this video, make sure to click here, and I'm sure you're going to love that one.